Hey, everybody, we have a special guest today. And you know the new series I've been talking about, doing something inspirational, sharing inspirational stories? Well, Lorrie was one of the first to respond. And so we're gonna do an experiment today and see how this goes. So I've explained to everybody that what I'm looking for is and Annie just came running in with her little mouse. She's so cute. So what I'm looking for is to give you guys ideas, get your creativity juices going, and just see what, just give you some inspirational ideas and some hope for what you could do during this time of craziness in our world. So, Lorrie, why don't you tell us what you've done through this time? Were you already kind of awake to what was going on in our world, or did you wake up in this time?
No, I've been awake a long time.
Oh, okay.
I've been awake a long time. So I was born to probably the first original conspiracy theorist. So yeah, I've been awake a very long time.
Okay.
Of course, none of us know everything, and this has just kind of like opened me up to how much more there is that we will probably be finding out that will shock all of us. Even those of us that think we know, it's going to be shocking to everyone.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, do you still, after all this time, do you still keep going through these layers and layers of, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Wow.
Yeah, it's just a constant learning and a constant enlightening of another layer of the onion. There's just so many, and one thing branches off to so many others, and it's
that's gotta be incredibly, like I've always said, I feel so sorry for those people who've known for a long time. Because number one, your 20, your 2-year food supply, or however many years, what is it, 10, 20 years sometimes, that is now expired, right?
Right. That was used up a long time ago.
Oh my gosh.
I remember the first time that I went out, and I was like, I think it was during the Obama administration. I don't know what I can say, because I know there's so much censoring.
Feel free to talk freely, because if there's too much, we'll just put it on Rumble. It's all right.
Okay.
I want us to be able to talk comfortably about these things, because we got to be candid. We got to be able to have permission somewhere to just be candid.
Right. So yeah, I had gone out, and because I've always grown up, my parents taught me, you always have a store of food. You raise your own food. You do this, you do that. Like, they grew up in the 40s. Okay. So
wow.
These are that taught me how to live in this world. So we always have more than a week's worth of food. Always. But during the Obama administration, he was buying up a lot of body bags. He was doing a lot of things. And I went out, and I probably bought 3 years of food. I am not kidding you, right? So I go to Sam's Club, and I have these 2 huge carts, and I think I had like 3 years of peanut butter, and I don't know, flour and sugar and beans and just things, because that if something happens, that your family is not going to be prepared. Somebody is not going to be prepared. So you want to be able to do whatever you've got to do. So I remember one of the funniest things, we had these containers of Tang, lots of them, right? Like what the astronauts drank, and like drink mixes, so that you have the salt.
Oh yeah, the powders.
Oh, tons of stuff, right? So my son's friend came over, and I think my son must have been in high school then or something. And his friend came over, and he's like, "Oh wow, you guys have Tang?" And Mike's like, "Yep." And he's like, "Can I have a glass?" And Mike said no. And he's like, "What?" Mike goes, no, we're saving that for the end of the world. And his friend looked at him like he had 3 heads, you know? So,
So your son understands. You guys, your whole family understands. That's got to be wonderful. That's got to be so comforting.
yeah.
Oh, and what
Yeah.
a relief you guys all have each other's backs that way too.
Yeah.
It's like if shit hits the fan, come over to my place. You know, I got my
Right.
garden going and I got, yeah, well, I'll be all right. We'll
Yeah.
camp out for a bit, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, back then we really went for it. And then I said, you know, I just can't live in fear. So this whole fear mentality that's what they want. That's key, right? So we have to shift gears. We just have to live as we've always lived, because we've always lived a bit different than anybody else around us anyways. Being raised a particular way, we've just always lived the way they're telling people to go about the business of doing things now. That's been our life. So,
Wow.
yeah, so get out of fear and envision the world I want. So I did that. I was like, this is never going to happen. They are never going to win. They are never going to win.
Wow.
And totally shifted gears. And from that moment on, I have been projecting every day the world I want to see, the world I want.
Wow. Now, I have to interject real quick because my specialty is true love. And I've always said true love totally parallels what's going on in our world right now, too. And you have to get in the same place. If you're trying to manifest anything, you have to let go of the outcome.
Absolutely.
So we have to get totally empowered and not care whether our true love come or not. I mean, we care because we love them or whatever, but it's like, you know, you got to put that out of your head and
Yeah.
just take care of yourself. And
Yeah.
just even be putting out those good vibes, and you do our visualizations and our affirmations and things like that. So what do
Yeah.
you do on a regular basis to stay out of the fear and stay in that manifesting mode?
Well, I'm very fortunate in the fact that I have a lot of faith, and it's always been, and I don't even want to call it faith, because faith is like kind of believing, right? Have this faith that something exists. Maybe. I just have a knowing that it exists. And so that just keeps me where I need to be all the time. Like, for instance, when COVID hit, okay, so they started talking about it in China. And I had all of these people calling me up, all upset. And I'm like, listen, don't feed this.
No.
Do not feed this energy. Do not feed this energy. It's not what they say it is. I knew that right off the bat. It is not what they say it is. Don't feed the energy that they want you to feed it, because you're going to feed it into being. Like, you don't feed it. Take the power away from it.
Yeah.
But people were afraid, and so then they got mad at me because I wouldn't help them feed it, right? Because misery loves company and fear loves company. And yeah, so in the beginning, lots of people got mad at me for not rolling with the agenda. And then when they started wanting us to wear the face coverings, I was like, absolutely not. I'm not going to do that. That's like enslavement. That has been a symbolism of enslavement forever. And that's why they want to slap it on our face.
And Satanism is part of their Satanistic rituals too.
Yes. And it creates health issues, and it keeps people, you lose a piece of your identity. And there's so many things, not to mention the breath. The breath is so important to health. And so I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. That made me aggravating to many people. I was told I was aggravating because I didn't want to conform.
You're so aggravating.
Yeah, it's so aggravating that you won't wear that. Like, yeah. So I've dealt with a lot of the people have been mad at me for being me, just for being me during the whole thing. But it's funny because the universe works its magic, right? So even as people were falling away or getting irritated with me or whatever, other people were kind of coming in of like minds. So it's really interesting. Like, I've met people via what I do that have like minds that now I feel like I have a friendship with them, even though I've never met them.
Totally.
You
Yeah,
know?
I have that too. Yeah. So
So
have you known about the white hats and the alliance for a long time too?
no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
not really.
So that must have given you a little bit of hope. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've always had the hope because I really, with the Aquarian age, they can't win, right? I mean, we're coming into the Aquarian age, and that's the most healing sign of the zodiac, right? And it's about freedom and empowerment. And so they can't win. It's not their time. Like
Mhm.
they had their day, and this is ours. The Aquarian age
Ah,
said so. And
yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
getting
And
around.
they've even said they're kind of waiting for the people to rise up.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.